So I recently spoke to a coach on a sales call, the type of coach that from the second you speak to her, you know that she's called to coaching. And she said to me that she asked ChatGPT what she should be charging. And ChatGPT said, listen, anywhere from $1,200 to $12,000, you can have your peak because you are bringing in almost 2 decades of experience, expertise. You've been doing this. And when I asked her, so how much are you charging? She said to me, I am currently charging 35 cents for my membership. 35 cents. Here's what happened. She decided to create a membership and agonize for weeks and months on how much she should be charging. And finally said, you know what? I'm not going to do it for free. Let me go ahead and charge 35 cents. She said what she really wanted to charge was $35, but she couldn't get herself the courage to charge that. And she believed that because this was faith-led, this was something she felt God put in her spirit, that she couldn't charge any higher. So if you're watching this right now and you're a woman of faith who is discounting your services or working coaching for free, this video is for you. Because that guilt you're feeling is not holiness, it's not good for your business, and it's going to keep you broke as a coach. So before we dive into solution, let me say that I understand. Okay, I'm a woman of faith as well, right? And we all grew up in church where we saw people giving their gift. You know, the choir was singing for free. The pastor is preaching for free. The ushers are donating their time and their services. We've all heard in the Bible when Jesus walked in and basically chased the merchants and said, you're not going to turn my father's house into a marketplace. And so I hear often when I'm on the call, y'all, when I'm on the call with somebody who is a woman of faith, a minister, somebody who is deep in their faith out, their problem is that they are undercharging or not charging at all. And we are going to work through a lot of what I'm going to share with you here today to get them to a place where they feel okay and confident in charging. But let's get away from the lies, right? Some of the lies that people believe is nobody's going to buy from me. I had a client, her name is Claire, and she had been a minister for years. And she said to me, Sandra, nobody's going to buy from me. I said, trust me. Let's walk through this program. Let's create the right offer. And when I say to you that she was one of the first people in our coaching program to get somebody to pay her $2,700 even before she had fully graduated from the program. So the first lie, which is keeping you bound, is people won't pay for this, so I'm just doing it for free. I'm talking about you having a coaching business and charging the right amount of money for your coaching services. I am sure that Oprah Winfrey loved having conversations with millions of people every single day, but she surely got paid very well for it. I'm sure that you may be enjoying being a nurse, a therapist, whatever you do today, but somehow you also enjoy your paycheck. Coaching is no different. I think the issue here is that a lot of the time people confuse their gift to the business. You get to choose. You get to decide how you want to leverage your gift. I'm not saying that every time you talk to somebody, you should send them an invoice, but I'm talking about if you're wanting to start a coaching business, not a nonprofit. I think about in the Bible, Solomon, who was one of the wealthiest people in the Bible, the wisest people. Actually, when God asked him, what do you want? He said, I want wisdom. He didn't ask for money. He said, I want wisdom. And he used that wisdom to do a few things that I want you to consider when it comes to running your coaching business. So your business is not just your gift. Your business is going to require an infrastructure. It needs to live somewhere. You are going to need to register your business. You're going to need to pay taxes for your business. You are going to need to make a profit. You're going to need to pay for marketing. All these things you're going to need to do for your business is going to cost you money. So the gift is free, but the business structure, the infrastructure, you're going to need to pay for. When you hire staff and you hire contractors to help you edit your videos, to help you with your website, that's going to cost. You're not going to pay them in prayer. They're going to need actual money. That means that your business is going to require investment. The third thing, in order for you to run your business the way you know you can run your business, you probably want to do it full time. In order for you to do it full time, you're going to need to pay your bills. So I'm not even talking about luxury and living I'm just talking about basic needs. You're going to need a business that brings you enough recurring revenue every single month so that you can continue doing the thing. I think about a book that I read called Unreasonable Hospitality. The book is about a guy that works in the restaurant business, and his job is to elevate restaurants, right? To help restaurants get to the best. And one of his restaurants became top 10 restaurant in America. And he talks about the fact that he told his staff, all the people that worked for him at this hotel. He had a meeting and he said to him, listen, I'll always put the business in front of you because taking care of the business is taking care of you. I want you to remember that when you are talking about running a business, the business needs to be fed. Because when you put the business needs in front of everything else, right? God gave you a mission. He gave you a vision. He told you, start this business. I want you to help people. Being a good steward of that business and making sure that the bills are paid on time, making sure that you can play at the level, right? That your video show, that your sound looks good, that you are in a place where you can coach other people becomes the business. Taking care of you becomes part of the business. The best coaches in the world that create the type of impact that you want to create are well rested, are well fed. They're running this business that's bringing in enough money to take care of the bills, to hire other people to bless the house. So having a profitable business is not a nice to have, it's a requirement. Your gift is your gift. You want to give it away for free? No problem. The moment you feel led to start a coaching business or any other business, the job of any business is to be profitable so that you can create impact, so that you can be here 10 years later, 20 years later, and be the solution, be the example. If you're a doctor, maybe God needed a representative for people to look at when they need healing, right? So if he has asked you to be this coach, absolutely, there's no question that no matter what you're doing right now, you are God's representative on earth. That's our calling. But this business that you have, you need to treat it as a business. You need to make sure that enough is coming in so you can sustain it, so you can continue serving clients, so you can serve these clients and go out in the world and be the representative that God has for them as well. The last thing I want to talk about when it comes to charging is that people who pay attention, I'm going to say that again, people who pay attention. Listen, I've sold coaching at all price points. Okay, I remember my first paid event that I did, I charged $149. It was for a 3-day retreat. $149 in Maryland, Poolsville, Maryland. That included flying in, I think 5 or 6 speakers all over the United States of America. I got in 30 people at this event and life would change. People still ask me, when is your next retreat? But the next year when I heard God tell me to do another retreat, I said, I'm not doing it. With all due respect, I'm still paying for the last retreat that I did. I was left in the red. I'm glad the people were blessed. I was blessed too, but I still have this banks, TD Bank, asking me what's up. And what he said to me is what I wanted to share with you. He said, don't project your lack of faith onto me. I never told you to charge $149. You didn't even ask me. You assumed that they couldn't pay. Your lack of faith in yourself and them made you charge what you're charging. Don't put it on me. I'm a rich God. And I said, all right, I got you. So the people that pay attention. They pay attention and they come into your coaching have changed. Because when you ask somebody to spend money that they've never spent on themselves, they have to answer a few questions. They have to look in the mirror and say, self, am I really ready to grieve? If you're a grief coach, am I really ready to grieve this thing or am I playing with it? When it's $2, do you know that the majority of courses, those $7 courses, are never even opened? Never even opened. And so what type of coach do you want to be? Do you want to be a coach that your clients come to you having already made a hard decision, that I'm worth that thousands of dollars that I paid or whatever the number is, because money is relative. All right. If you're watching this and you're Oprah, you're probably like, girl, what is $2,000? $1,000 is nothing. I deal in 200 millions, right? But whatever that money is for them, it has to cost them. Because transformation needs to cost you something. And so people that pay attention. You're not charging what you're worth. I hear a lot of coaches say, charge what you're worth. What does that mean? What you do for your clients is limitless. You can't even put a price point on it. But what you can figure out is, what type of business am I running? How much money do I need in order for me to live the type of lifestyle that I want? What does the market say? What is the market value of what it is that I'm doing? What's the real transformation that I'm going to be providing my clients and my audience? And then put a price on that thing. You have to remove wordiness to what you charge. I talk to a lot of people that will say, Sandra, oh, I don't want to offend you. I don't want this to offend you. This is what I can afford. I say, baby, you can't offend me. You can't even pay me. You can't pay me for the passion that I show my clients, for the prayers I pray over my clients, for what I do. You can't pay me for what I've gone through to be able to stand here in front of you. And that's true for you as well. So pricing is not emotional. We look at it like it means something. With people that charge $50,000, $100,000 for their services, they're not smarter than you. They don't know more than you. They just understand that it's a matter of transaction and value. That if I give you 10x the value of what, so you will pay me $100,000 to learn how to make $1 million. Period. That's it. That's all it's about. So it's not about how nice you are. It's not about how safe you are. It's about transaction. This is the marketplace. It's about, am I giving enough value to justify what I'm charging? The answer is yes. You may not see it yet. You may not know it yet, which is why I've opened up my calendar to speak to a few of you. And on that call, it's a 30-minute free call. On that call, we'll look at, do you have already in you the things that top coaches need in order for them to charge? What are the steps you need to take in order for you to build the thing that you want to build in the fastest way possible? What is your 90-day roadmap? We'll talk about that in that 30 minutes of free. It's free because, A, I'm in this work to do God's work, okay? I'm in this work to help as many women to hit financial freedom as possible. It's personal for me. But secondly, I also know that when we talk to 20, 30 women, a good number of these women decide and say, I didn't know and I didn't see my value. I want to work with you. For those women, we'll talk to them about what we can do for them. For the women that are not ready yet, it allows them to stop the busy work and focus on what's going to move the needle for them as well. So if that's you, there's a link below this video. Make sure you click. It will take you to our calendar. On the calendar, you'll click your date and time. It will open up a form. You'll answer a few questions and submit. At that time, myself or my team will get on a Zoom call with you and walk you through next steps. Now, if this video was helpful, do me a favor. Make sure you comment, you like, and you subscribe. And I can't wait to see you in the next video.